Now, that, of course, is not the only weird interaction Donald Trump had with reporters last week. While Donald Trump was signing his executive order banning transgender athletes from playing in sports, specifically just transgender women from playing in women's sports, which according to statistics I think affects 5 people in the United States. 5. So he signed an executive order specifically to screw over 5 people. But nevertheless, he signs this executive order. And then he starts talking to reporters. And it's at this point where his brain just totally breaks. Here's what he said after signing that bigoted executive order. The room is packed. You know, I offered to build a ballroom. I'm very good at building ballrooms. I build beautiful ballrooms. And I actually offered to build a ballroom for the White House. I was going to build it right there, he said, pointing off into the distance. I was going to build a beautiful, beautiful ballroom like I have at Mar-a-Lago. As beautiful as it can be. It was going to cost about $100 million. I offered to do it, and I never heard back. So I'm going to try to make the offer to myself, you know, because we could use a bigger room. Now, ballrooms, the press, you know, offering to give yourself a government contract to build something that you actually say you're going to pay for yourself, but clearly you're not. None of those were the topic at hand. None of them. But something interesting that I picked up in that statement from Donald Trump, not only was it wildly off topic and not related to anything that they're, discussing, he used the word ballroom 5 times. In just these couple of sentences here, like 6 sentences, 5 times he uses the word ballroom. 4 times he used the adjective beautiful. 3 of them in one sentence, right? I was going to build a beautiful, beautiful ballroom like I have at Mar-a-Lago, as beautiful as it can be. The same word 3 times in one sentence. So after I read that, for no reason in particular, I decided to look up some of the warning signs of dementia. And wouldn't you know it, repetitive speech is a common behavior in people with dementia. It's also known as perseveration. Some of the causes for people with dementia to be repeating words over and over and over include basic memory loss. People with dementia may not remember what they've said or done. Emotional state. They may feel anxious, confused, or insecure. Or environmental factors. They may be bored, uncomfortable, or have a physical need. Some examples of this repetition that you see in people with dementia: repeating a word, phrase, or question. Yeah. Repeating a story or information. Yeah. Using the same answer to multiple questions. Well, he wasn't asked a question about it. Staying stuck on a topic. Definitely one that we see with this guy. The reason I even bring this up is because before the 2024 election, we started to get more and more and more reports from mental health professionals. You know, one of them, even in the New York Times, did a big piece on it, of all of these health professionals warning us that there was something dangerously wrong with Donald Trump's mental capacity. You know, psychological components, potentially neurological components. So not just, the thoughts and feelings, but also the physiology of the brain itself. All of these people were out there telling us, we see the signs. We know what's happening, short of being able to get brain scans. Typically, these are warning signs. And nobody listened. And now that, ever since the election, those stories disappeared. His mental issues clearly didn't disappear. But the stories did. The warnings did. I mean, not saying that those mental health professionals just went on their merry way and said to hell with it. No. I think at this point they're like, well, we did what we could. What else can we do? The guy's president now. We have no authority. We can't convince people to get rid of him. He's there. But the warning signs were there. The stories were there. The people, the experts were there. If President Biden had said something like this, the press would still be talking about it today. And again, this happened last Wednesday. They'd still be talking about it. All the Sunday talk shows this past weekend would have been nothing but Biden's got some serious issues. He's repeating words all the time. They would have brought on the mental health professionals. They'd be calling, to use the Constitution to get him out of office. But not with Trump. With Trump, it's just another day. It's just the way he is. No. These are warning signs. And whenever we see them, we need to address them not as Trump being weird or crazy online or in front of reporters. We need to call them what they are, because these are symptoms. I'm Farron Cousins, in for David Pakman. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
So many different VPNs reach out to me wanting to advertise on the show, and I always turn them down because most of them do not pass the sniff test. Most VPNs are all owned by the same big mysterious company. They log your internet activity so they can sell it or give it to law enforcement. And these VPNs are just out to make a buck without really protecting your privacy. The only VPN I trust enough to have as a sponsor is Private Internet Access. Our sponsor, Private Internet Access, is the only VPN who has proven multiple times in legal proceedings they don't keep logs of your activity. The judge ordered that PIA show user activity history. Each time they demonstrated they don't have the records. That no-log policy is also independently audited by Deloitte. And PIA is also open source. So you can also see in the code that none of your activity is being logged. And you can protect unlimited devices with just a single account. Private Internet Access is giving my audience 83% off, which is just $203 a month, plus 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pakman. The link is down below.